Welcome everybody to today's reading. We have 3 piles for you to choose from. The theme for today is going to be what is it that haunts you. Group 1, we have the Pyrite, otherwise known as Fool's Gold. We have Group 2 with the Caribbean Calcite. And we have Group 3 with the Citrine. So you can take a moment to choose whichever pile you feel the most drawn to and use the timestamps in the description box to jump ahead when you're ready, and we will get started with Group 1. Okay, welcome Group 1 to the reading for what is it that haunts you. So if you chose the Pyrite, this will be your reading. We have the Destroyer, the Knight of Swords, 7 of Pentacles, and the 8 of Pentacles. I kind of took a moment to ask Spirit, what is it that haunts Group 1? And they just said everything. And I feel like this group has a lot of eyes on you, and not everybody has good intentions. Some of these people operate outside of your periphery, whereas there tends to be specifically at least like 1 or 2 people in an inner circle that kind of watches you. They pay very close attention to what it is that you do. And so typically when I have a card like the Destroyer, it can represent an energy very much like the Tower or the Death card, where we can lay things that no longer serve us to rest. Sometimes it can kind of come crumbling down like a tower, where it can really come across as a lot of upheaval or uprooting in our lives with a lot of quick change. And it can really be painful to go through those times of transformation to let us begin to build again upon a solid foundation, or in a way that is more meaningful to us, where we are less susceptible to, the outside world affecting us. And although I understand how that could tie into this energy, this is like what haunts us. And so for some of you, I know it's such an icky energy, but I've got to pass along what I'm getting in the cards. For some of you, there is a person that is kind of trying to haunt you in some way. And I don't know if it's like a spiritual attack that may be levied like of a night time or something. Just such an icky energy. I would just be maintain taking care of yourself during this time. I just have to show you this card if you couldn't see it before. These eyes, the longer that I look at it, the more almost bad energy or like malintent that I pick up on it. For some of you, I almost get like a peeping Tom type of energy. Although it doesn't really feel like that in nature. It could just be for a specific couple of people here. It just, whatever it is, doesn't seem good. For some of you, what actually happens, or maybe more relevant or resonant to you, could be that you are this energy of a tower moment, or, you know, a death of an old self or an old scenario where you are the person who you typically show up in a destroyer type of energy. And I'm not connecting it with that same type of energy I was just tapping into before, where there's like someone paying attention. It's very much not like that at all. But when you come into people's lives, it could be representing, like, you know, an old cycle closing out or a new cycle beginning, or like tearing down a foundation or something, where it's like breaking down. Some of you, it could be like the old beliefs and whatnot, or I don't know, some sort of social dynamics, whatever it is. And I feel like it can cause people to step into that first energy that we're picking up on, where they're very much all eyes are on you and they're paying attention, and they don't like what you have come in and the change that you have brought about in their lives. And it is you, in fact, who haunts them. And it's kind of like, it can be a case where you are both haunting each other, right? Where it's like you haunt them through this destroyer energy that you bring about. But for you as the viewer, these people end up haunting you through this, whatever this like malintended kind of energy is, or they're just upset with you for bringing about this change in their lives, or somehow upsetting the course. For some of you, I feel like what it is that these people have, how do I explain it? Almost like a plan, and everything was going to plan, and then you came up and you were the variable that was unaccounted for, and you somehow destroyed their plan or changed the course of the things, the dynamics that were playing out, and ended up, you know, indirectly destroying whatever it was that they were working towards. And I feel like this is when people are doing things kind of behind the scenes that they wouldn't be so open to share with others. There would be an element of it like being hidden or something like that. And so for some of you, that's where this attention is brought in. I almost felt a little bit sick in my stomach before I started doing today's reading. And some of it was a bit icky and some of it was a bit emotional. And so we'll take that and move on with the reading. But some of you take action and you don't hold back. And I feel like you could be quite concise. And some of the things that you have to say, or the ideas that you have, could come off quite cutting to other people. And the fact that not much can hold you down, or that you go after what you want, or that you are, like, you can have this very, maybe a direct nature about you, can also be something that kind of haunts people. But on that flip side of that energy, I feel like some of these people are like actively moving towards you, or they have focused attention on you. And again, I'm getting that reiteration of that same energy coming through, where whatever it was that this person was working on or trying to grow or setting in motion, even if it's not the case that it's disrupted to a point that it no longer comes to fruition, it at least delays the process greatly, or puts them in a position where they do have to alter what they were doing. Okay. And for you, however, it's like, you know, you might just be going after whatever it is that you need to accomplish in your life, and you can set down roots. And some of you can kind of, like, I keep getting that unaccounted variable. Some of you could be a person that starts out seemingly unaware, or what's the word, unaffected, or like maybe you don't have the potential to affect your environment around you, or you don't come off like you are a person who has much of a goal or a plan, or like you will be working towards anything greatly. Some of you may come off a little bit meeker, or like less of, and it's weird even when I do readings like this and I get this language come through, but you know, for those that are viewing you as like an opposition or an opponent in some way, initially they may not even see you through that energy until they kind of like realize that you're actually out achieving different things, and that things are very slowly but steadily growing around you, even if there's not a lot to show you. It's like they can recognize that you've started to grow things, even if you haven't got like a real like results come in just yet. And it's like they want to do what they can to really delay the process for you. So there's kind of a lot of, I hesitate to even call it mirrored energy, because it's not the same energy at all, but there's like a lot of mirroring in some of these storylines, but the energy behind them is so different, where one is quite malintended and one is quite innocent in its way that it makes its way through the world. Some of you could just be really focused on what it is that you do, and you kind of pour a lot into it, and it's that moment when people realize that you are a hard worker and you are committed and you do show up and you do take action, you are paying attention to what you do. Some of you could actually have like quite a sharp eye for the type of work that you do, or you could, I think we already mentioned about having a use of concise and clear language, and it can come off quite direct, and to other people that in itself, when you're not dancing around other people's feelings, can sort of be something. I think this group, you could have the potential to kind of have, you could make some people a little bit nervous, and it's because I don't know, it's weird because, you know, the Eight of Pentacles could talk a little bit about a predictable nature, but I really don't feel like you are predictable at all. If in fact, I think it's the fact that you are quite sharp or agile, that even if you are predictable, how sharp you are is unpredictable, or something like that. It's like the thing that people don't see about you. Yeah. So, okay. I'm just hearing the thing that haunts you in the night. I'm hearing some of you may have like a monitoring spirit. Some of you could have like a negative entity attached to. Some of you, there was something else here. Yeah, I just feel like it's kind of like a psychic attack energy. So I would just take whatever steps you can to like clear your energy, and ask like your guides or your spiritual team or whatever it is that you lean into to protect you during this time. I was just hearing Hail Mary. So for some of you, maybe the Hail Mary would be something that you would you could reference as a part of a protective process, if that's something that you resonate with. Okay, I just want to take a moment and see if I get anything else. Okay, so some of you, I did mention earlier that this could be like a person in your kind of immediate circle, and they could actually come off like the real deal, like they could be the favorite, or they could seem to have an inherent value or eternal value, or they are sought after. I don't know what it is, like something really great about them. And it's like what you don't see is that it's not what it appears, or something like that. But, okay. So what is it that haunts you? Some of you could feel uneasy about when crows are around. Some of you could work with crows. For some of you, the crows could, not everyone, I wouldn't take it too seriously or give it too much attention, but for some of you, the monitoring spirit could come through in a form of a crow. Some of these people are haunted by things that they've done that would have, they take a long time to come into effect. And so there's this sense of keeping a lookout for anyone that might be onto them before things come to fruition. I'm hearing some of these people could do energy work. But I get this energy of just, I don't know, some of you are this committed person that just like shows up every day and does your work, and you just like focus on the things that really, I don't know, give you like a practical sense of meaning or something like that. Whereas others of you, I feel like this other person that we're referencing are people that do show up every day. Some of them, for some of you, this person could be a person in the workplace. But it doesn't have to be narrowed to that. And like I said, for not all of you, is there a person in your close circle, or are they necessarily a person anyway? And for some of you, just a reminder that this is more about you coming through in a light attribute of the things that you may represent to people as you move through the world. Little do you know that you moved to town, but they're, I don't know, their old neighbor left and they had a really good dynamic going on, and now they're kind of focusing their attention on you as having been the problem for why the old neighbor left or something like that. It could be just like, I really don't like giving examples too much in some of these readings, because although all I'm trying to do is demonstrate like, I don't know if I would say a mechanism, but like what it is that's playing out behind any given situation. I understand that examples can also sort of sometimes have people feel excluded from the reading. They're like, well, that situation didn't happen, so that doesn't resonate, so therefore this reading must not be for me. And there, I definitely get a mix of people where I have some people that come through in these readings that have such strong intuition already in themselves that they pick their piles with finesse, and they get exactly the messages that are meant for them, that strongly resonate and are actually helpful to them. And that's what I'm here for. I'm really hoping that whatever it is that I can present with is actually meaningful and helpful or insightful or interesting, you know, along those sorts of lines, for the highest good, really. But I also understand that there are people that are still learning their intuition, or they don't necessarily, like, maybe PickACards have worked for them and they don't totally understand how, but they still occasionally land on a pile that's not meant for them. And so it can be tricky when you're learning that space of working out how to kind of navigate through it if it's something that you're not used to and you're kind of new to it. Yeah. Okay. Some of you, I feel like, what is it, like feeling out landmines? This is a bit of a weird message coming through. So some of you could just feel like there's lots of landmines, or I don't know, traps, or I don't know if it's like spiritual test or if it's like the psychic attack or whatnot. There's like different obstacles that you're fielding. So you're like trying to navigate your way through like sticky situations, or I don't know, awkward situations, or they have the potential to kind of blow up in your face or something like that. So it was a bit of a weird message. So that could be something that haunts you. Yeah. For others of you, you feel like whatever it is that you do to protect yourself is maybe not quite enough, and that could be something that haunts you. For some of you, I just want to say that your self-worth could be something that haunts you, or you could be afraid to shine bright or show your full self to the world, or all of your colors, or take up too much space. They could all be themes that could haunt you. Some of you are haunted by, you know, people that those qualities show up in the world. And you could have a tendency to kind of cut off from any connection with those people and miss out on potentially deeper long-term connections, because there is something here that you don't want to acknowledge. It's like you are not willing to see another person past the surface in how they present. So you cut away and forego these long-term relationships. Others of you, this is something that happens to you, and this can be where that malintended energy comes through, because you do show up in all your color and your fullness, and it is really bright and beautiful. And because of that, it's like that interference that this person, and it's like you existing equates to interference in their world and how things were and everything that they had going. And so they would like to find a way to cut you off. And even if it's not cutting you off in terms of necessarily isolation, it could be terms of cutting off others' experience with you so that they do not get to see the full depth or spectrum of your beauty, inner or outer, whatever that looks like for you as a person. Yeah. Okay. All right, so group one, that's everything that I have for you for today's reading. It turned a little bit cryptic, but I'm hoping that these readings are helpful to you. You never have to feel like you have to watch like every reading, or you know, if you struggle with how some of the themes can affect your energy, it's okay to disconnect, and it's okay to leave it where it's at. It's also important to understand that energy is ever changing, and timelines are ever changing, dynamics and circumstances are ever changing. And, you know, I have been getting a bit of a theme lately where if people can't directly affect you, they'll do what they can to energetically kind of pull you down to their level so that they can, you know, seemingly somehow have a direct encounter with you. And for some of you, it's just that you're at a point of elevation. And I almost want to say this is the group where if you weren't doing, you know, if you didn't have, it sucks being on the receiving end of this type of energy. But if you weren't experiencing some sort of hater, for the lack of a better expression, then it's like, what is it? You wouldn't be doing it right, or something like that. It's like, I guess, part of the journey that needs to be experienced. For whatever reason, there may be like some sort of lesson behind this, in terms of like discernment, or, you know, working out that you are a person that can kind of easily overcome or dodge or discern from these types of situations, or maybe that you're a person, I don't know, I'm not sure what else I need to say here. They're just kind of telling me that that's it. So I don't want to drag it out too much longer, and I don't want to talk past a point of it being helpful or for the highest good or impactful. So yeah, hopefully this is helpful. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you all in another reading. Take care. Okay, welcome group 2. If you chose the Caribbean Calcite, then this will be your reading on, it was meant to be what it is that haunts you, but it seems to be coming through a little bit of like, you know, how you haunt other people as well. And the very first card, the temple here that I took, I started hearing the John Mayer song, like Your Body is a Wonderland. And so for some of you, the way you could be experiencing this, or it could be something that is happening to the people around you that are affected from your energy or knowing you, is that they're haunted by the experience of your body or your sensuality, your intimacy, your connectedness, maybe I don't really, what else is there? Something about you could really draw this person or have like a healing type of quality in a sensual way. It wouldn't surprise me if this is a group that healers do come through in. You could be quite calming, quite grounded. You could have a strong presence and a strong presence of mind as well as energetically. For some of you, you are the people that grow things around you, or you are ever growing and changing. And you seem to light the way, draw things in, or make things warm. You could have a potential to really make things beautiful here. I kind of get a Venus energy, even though I don't have any cards here that are reflecting a Venus energy. But it's just like, not even Venus, maybe like Garden of Eden, so Taurus energy. So yeah, we don't even have Taurus here either, but it's just that taking care of the things around us. So it doesn't have to be Taurus, it could be like Aquarius as well. It could be many zodiacs. We won't dive too deep into that. Don't let it take away from your reading. It doesn't have to resonate for that part. Some of you could have people competing over you. Some people here could put you on a pedestal or could see you as a person worth competing for. Some people will feel like they are never able to reach your standard, or that you're better than them or out of their league. I feel like not everybody that comes into your space is necessarily there for the right reasons. For some of you, you enact or embody a good self-worth or a creative expression that is healing in nature, but you shine bright or are attractive in a way that people can misunderstand your energy because they can look at you from the outside and be like, oh, this person is beautiful. And I feel like this is a group where you are very beautiful on the inside and the outside, and that you can emanate a warm light out onto those around you. And there are people here that just want to be in that light that, you know, it seems to be coming out of or around you. They want to share the light with you. And so some people here, I don't know if I really get people here that want to possess you. I'm sure that exists, but you seem to be on a higher vibration where the possessive people will fall away in some sense because you are not a vibrational match, which is fantastic. Kudos to you. For others of you, you have done really well at boundaries or protecting yourself in some way, or creating a space or a temple in which those that are not pure-hearted cannot enter. Also kudos, and if you know how to do that, please share in the comments so that the rest of us can learn, because that would be great too, okay? I don't know, there's a strong harmony, but a strong captivating energy here as well. Okay, so what else here do we have for group 2? Okay, so I feel like group 2, you have one of the ways in which you can haunt people is that you kind of captivate the minds of people in charge. So like potentially like an alpha or people that are a bit higher up in some sort of status. I want to say men, like I want to say developed men. So you might get men that are otherwise preoccupied to look up and kind of entertain the idea of what it would be like to be with you or have you around or something like that. So this doesn't have to just be, you know, a feminine receiving the attention from a masculine. It can be those energies, and the energetic gender could be, what am I trying to say? The gender doesn't matter here, but for some of you, it could just be that if you are a man, some of you, if you are a man, you could have like some sort of sacred, holy, spiritual kind of energy here where there are women in charge. So it's still a sense of, I don't know if I'd necessarily say that they're alpha, but women that are a little bit more top tier, independent, have it together, are kind of, they're paying attention to you, like you've got them thinking. And it's kind of weird because you have like a good balance between masculine and feminine. So, like, it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a man or woman, or like, and you know, masculine, feminine, what that looks like in between. You make these people think of the possibility of a new beginning, or what it would be like to have a beginning with you. And for some of you, the haunting or daunting realization here is that the life is not going to look like that, or that even though there's a lot of idealism here, it's not necessarily practical or realistic in a practical sense, something like that. For some of you, could put these people, not that you like doing this to them, but these people could be confronted with you and step into a state of like anxiety, fear, nervousness. Maybe they are experiencing challenging concepts around their self-esteem because of the pedestal that you're on, or that they put you on. Although I do feel like for a lot of you, people don't necessarily have to put you on a pedestal. I feel like in some sort of societal standard, you are on a pedestal. For some of you, you could be like a leader of some type of group, community group, or I don't know, a spiritual group or something, I'm not sure. And that these people need to recognize their own self-worth, but often what happens when they feel this way is that they then feel the need to protect their self-worth. For some of you, you could be confronted with something when people get up close to you, that they realize that you are human, and they could try to poke holes in whatever idea or ideal or symbol, or I don't know, whatever it is that you represent to the world, or whatever, you know, whatever that is that drew them in to begin with. And what they don't realize is that they are doing significant damage, and that in turn, that could be what it is that haunts you, is because people are, they're not treating you accordingly to how you show up in the world. They're not treating you fairly. I don't feel like they treat you kind or proper. Some of these people, I'm sure, would like lay out the red carpet for you, but some of these people do not, and they would try to poke holes at you as if they are trying to take from your own self-worth to build themselves up. Although I do feel for the most part, this group has the ability to maintain stable throughout anything that does go on around them, to the point that you would be less rocked, like you are more stable in your sense of self or your environment, you're more grounded than anything that these people can throw at you. And so although some of these themes could be some of the things that haunt you, I feel like your stronger sense of self, or your grounded sense of self, it could, if you let it be, it could be like water off a duck's back, or it may not affect you as deeply as it could others. For some of you, what it is that haunts you is that there are people competing for you, and they feel the need to assert themselves in such a way that is not rooted in reality at the chance of a new beginning, and it just causes everybody upset and hurt. And then you kind of feel the need to protect yourself more from people than you really should have to, because you're realizing you're being faced with more, what is it, like, what am I trying to say? People that don't have the best intentions. It's like people that are not being honest. It's like people are not being honest with themselves and not being honest with you, and you're facing more of these people on typical ratio or something like that than maybe others do. So then when you do try to talk to people about it, unless people have also lived in this same energy as you, they typically do not understand, and it's all part of your human experience and whatever that could look like. Okay, I feel like there might be more here. Yeah. Some of you could be soothing, like you could, I already talked about like a healing quality here. So for some of you, you could actually provide space, and these people feel like they are falling away unless they can get a spot in your space or maintain that space, or like they want to emanate what it is that you do. And it's like when they try to get there, they realize what it is to try to do what you do. Maybe there's like more of an art to it or something, or it takes more responsibility than what they're willing to give to it, something like that. And it's the fact that you do it effortlessly can be one of the things that haunts them. Now you could be on either side of these energies, either side of the Queen here, and that's okay. I do almost get a sensation in like my lower abdomen or like my lower gut or stomach, kind of like sacral chakra. And we don't even really have that much orange here, but it's like we do have self-worth though. So sacral, solar plexus, it's sacral though. I feel like there's something about the way that this group expresses themselves that could be one of the things that haunts people. And it's one of the things that people will try to take from you. So I don't know what that would look like, but if you're able to protect yourself from it, protect your expression. I get for this group that you would have some type of sacred expression, and that your expression is one of the things that allows you to hold space for others in a meaningful way, or a very healing way. And that if you're able to protect it, then it's like allowing the energy to move up through the rest of the chakras. So developing into like a good sense of self-worth, and you know, being able to emanate out that healing heart energy to those around you with compassion. So I feel like this group has a deep knowing, or no, a deep understanding into people's healing journeys. And it is one of those things that can be confronting when people are faced with it. So that could also be something about you that haunts people. It would be like coming on a journey with you would be stepping into the unknown, and they could feel vulnerable in a scary place they've never been before. And all that they have is you to lead the way, and that would ask them to put trust in you to do that in a way that is respectful, meaningful, safe, compassionate. And so that could be something that actually is haunting these people about you. Okay, is that everything? So we also have Aries here. Is there anything else? I'm hearing Hasta, so Hasta could be in Vedic, one of the Virgo. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if you already look into Vedic astrology, you may have some sort of Hasta placement there, or you may be representing Hasta type energy. But I won't go too deeply into that. That's for yourself to look into if that's something that you vibe with. It doesn't have to be a necessary part of the confirmation here. So, okay. That's everything that I have for you today, Group 2. Hopefully this was an interesting or helpful one in some way, if nothing else but validating. So enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, and I'll see you all in another one. If this resonated for you, like, comment, subscribe. I would love to have people here that do vibe with it. Okay, welcome Group 3. If you chose the Citrine, then this will be your reading on what it is that haunts you. One thing that I have noticed in the previous two piles is that people that you haunt can come through on the back end of the reading as well. It's at a point where we've had so much of both energies coming through that I can't remember if the original thing was meant to be what haunts you or how you haunt other people. So bear with me as we move through the reading and we will get started. So the first thing that I get is that this group in a seemingly barren state or place seems to bring about a wealth of abundance to a point where it could come off as like mystical or magical, or like you pulled it out of thin air, or like you somehow manifested something in such a profound way that it's just totally unexplainable. And I think that you kind of have people become enthralled with some sort of like occultism, mystical or spiritual journey in some way. It's like in all the barren of the lands, the thing that they are reaching for is some sort of esoteric value or hidden knowledge, or yeah, I don't know. I think some people would have a really hard time understanding where your transformation has come about. And this is something that actually haunts them greatly because they can't tell if you are like the real thing or not. And they wouldn't know. I don't even know if these people would understand it when they're faced with you until that dawning realization kind of hits them in the face and they're confronted with it. An example of what that really looks like, an example of what that does not really look like. Through no doing of the universe showing them exactly what that is. I feel like this group is really beautiful, and you could have a strong sense of, encourage a sense of eroticism. Eros? Yeah, that's another card from the archetype depth here. We could have Scorpio energy here, Cancer energy here, Pisces. Yeah, so water signs. Fire signs, where we go, Earth, air. I don't know, I feel like there's just a lot of attractive qualities about this group, and that could be one of the ways in which you really haunt people. For some of you, it could be on the other end of this, where it is like you are viewing something that you are really trying to get to, or you're really drawn in by, or you're really reaching for, and it's just like it always seems so far away yet so close. And to you it is deeply attractive in some way, and it is something that haunts you, the fact that you feel like you are never really close enough to actually experience it in a way in which you desire, where there's like a strong sense of desire or something. And this person could seem abundant, even if nothing else, but in terms of their beauty or like esoteric qualities in some sense. Okay, so you could come off quite soft and like you have a high vibrational essence that people have not a lot to compare with. So when they are faced with it, they immediately understand it. Yeah, and then, oh, we've got Cancer here again, so confirmation for Cancer. We also have, you could represent like a different type of beauty that is seemingly unconventional. Like, I don't know if it's something that you focus on, or if it's the way in which you deliver the truth, or a vision that you have, or how you show up as a vision in the world. And this could be this person for you if you're on the other end of this as well, where there is something about it that I feel like is very original. Yeah. There could be something here about like being driven, or I don't know if that's right, like a pushing through, like pushing past something, or I don't know, maybe this group is kind of disciplined or successful. I don't know, it's the willpower. That's what it is. It's the willpower. You may have a strong sense of willpower, and people may not recognize that because they have not experienced that in themselves. So when they see it in another person, they don't know what to equate it to, and that could be something that kind of haunts them. They like are almost perplexed at how does this person do that, and why do they, it's like they could almost lack like a sense of self-esteem or something, and so there could be a level of projection onto you of like, or how come they think that they can just do this, but actually it's a really positive movement forward, and it's like what you do so that you can get to where you're going in a meaningful way. But it's, you're taking, if it's like discipline, a lot of the times the things that we do that are quite disciplined, it takes discipline to do quite healthy things, or things that are good for us, because anyone can go fall off the track and like slip into I don't know, themes of like temptation, or like not trying, or I don't know, whatever that looks like for different people, right? Some of these people could see you as almost like a bulldozer, where it's like to get to where you're going, it's like you're not worried about whether they're left behind or in your way or something like that. It's like your self-esteem is so good that you're not worried about whether they come with you or not, and that in itself could be confronting to these people. It's like you're just leaving them for dead, but really you're just like going where you need to or something. I'm not sure. And that could be something that haunts them. So for some of you, it could be on the other side of the coin, where it's like it haunts you to have to leave people in the dust that you feel like they can't see, accept, acknowledge the truth of a situation, let alone the higher truth. Or you feel like there's such a persistence or a pervasiveness in their energy, or paying attention to, or being drawn in for reasons that are maybe, I don't know, I feel like it kind of is connected for your soul, but there are parts of it in which they want to overlook or deny or something like that. And that in itself could be one of the things that haunts you about being the person in this position. And I feel like you could embody so much beauty, whatever it is here that really gets people kind of like paying attention, that people are offside about it, like close people around you or relationships that were supposed to be supportive can be put off by whatever this is. And it maybe you don't subscribe to any typical beauty standards, and that's okay. Some of these people could be noticing if it's not their own attraction to you sparking up, whether it makes sense to you or not, whether it's same sex or not, doesn't matter. They could be confronted with their own, like, you know, sense of feeling attracted to you that's uncomfortable for them. But for some of you, it's like Maybe they notice other people around you being drawn into you. And if it's not in terms of beauty, it's terms in some sort of being drawn into what it is that you do. This could be a group that people equate other people being attracted to you, especially if they see you as some sort of like mystical, magical, spiritual person or witchy person or something. You could be a group of people in which other people cannot understand your beauty, to where they equate it to, or how, maybe not your beauty, but like they can't understand why people are next level drawn into it, why they almost get obsessive over you or something, or they're keeping tabs on you constantly, because it's like, what was I going to say? It's just gone. Don't tell me we're dropping out now. They would almost say that it's like glamour magic or something, or they would just see no other reason. It's not even, do you know what it is? It's not that they can't understand your beauty. I think they more than know, like they totally understand that you are beautiful. But what it is that they have a hard time comparing themselves. But it's that thing where it's like it's like maybe they're not comparing how you look, but they compare the amount of attention or that muse-like type of energy where people are drawn into you. They're comparing, why does this person get people so magnetized, or something like that. And it does get people offside. And I don't know, I feel like this group, you would be a group that you would need people that are like equally in this. I'm getting Ashleisha now as well, which is also Cancer, like Vedic Cancer, can be Vedic Cancer placements anyway. So that might be something that if you're into Vedic astrology that you could look into. But for some of you, I feel like you need other people around you, like your close family, support, or friends. They need to be people that, like, they need to share the same values as you, but they need to be people that are like self-assured, so that they're not, I don't know, they've just got to be good in themselves. Like they've got to be secure in themselves or something like that, or not so dependent on others, so that like when this sort of thing happens, they're not like, thrown offside by it, or they don't have the world seemingly turned upside down or something. For some of you, I also get like a Venus energy here too, where it's like maybe the way that you navigate social situations or scenarios is almost artful, and you do have a way of like drawing people in, or partaking in part of like a community in a deeper and meaningful way that is actually really beautiful and kind of attractive, and it does draw a lot of people in. And you could just be people that are kind of in line with like spiritual sort of, I don't know, esoteric, energetic, witchy, woo-woo groups, whatever. And it's like, it's that effortless thing. There's like an effortless sense of like beauty or something that you do, or effortless captivating energy, or effortless community building or something, and effortless ability to see concepts with clarity that people don't always understand. And it is really beautiful that you have that ability, and whether other people understand it or decide to push past it or not. Okay, so that's everything that I have for you today, group 3. Hopefully this is helpful in some of the ways in which I guess some of the things that may haunt you could just be being on the receiving end of some of this type of attention, but also likewise that these could be some of the things that like some of the ways in which you haunt other people, because they're confronted with this like crazy magnetism or whatever it is. So a strong sense of desire as well that they may not have known that they had previous to this. Okay, so you could be like awakening senses in people that they don't understand. For some of you, you could be like awakening, helping connect or activate people's like rising kundalini energy or something like that. So it's like the snake rising and starting at the base and working, this strong kundalini energy here as well. And so some people could get their feelings mixed up for being drawn into you in an energetic sense, in terms of like an emotional sense as well. So you could have people that are drawn into you because you're like working together in some sense, where you could, I don't know, let's pretend that you are a circle facilitator for a meditation group, and you are leading people the way in, I don't know, whatever things you are doing. Maybe you're working with, I don't know, different chakras or something for the sake of everyone understanding. And as people are working through it, and they're connecting with their higher selves, or sense of their higher selves, and going through this transformative process and being connected with the oneness of the universe, and experiencing all the beauty that there is in these really high vibrational states, and what it can be like when you're around these like deeply like knowing, was it like claircognizant, like deeply knowing or deeply esoteric kind of people or connections, that they may misconstrue your loving, holding space energy for that with a person that is attractive, or they could just love that about you and all of a sudden find themselves deeply attracted to you, even if it is not in an appropriate manner or something that you would deem appropriate. Like maybe you have partners, maybe you have different orientations or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it's like a inappropriate relationship between, example, like a facilitator and a client or something like that, where it's not necessarily ethical to act upon anything. I don't know what that looks like for you. So I would just say, yeah, these are some of the things that could haunt, people on either side of the coin here. Take care of yourselves, look after yourselves. Hopefully this was a helpful reading in some way, and I'll see you all in another one. Thanks.